Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Oh, and Shadow, she's here today with us. So how is everybody? I can see we've got some from the US already. Got some early morning rises here in Australia. Yep, she's been up early this morning playing around my feet. I swear she knows it's Friday. So we're going to finish off this one today. I'm pretty excited. It feels good to finally complete a piece, so today will be no exception. So if you're new and haven't been following along with this color along, this is the last video today. So the image is no longer available as of now for free. Obviously, though, you can still purchase this image from Christine Karron. All her links are in the description. Also, her new book links are in the description as well. I haven't popped the Amazon one up yet, but as far as I know, it's available on Amazon as well. So check those out. Also, if you'd like to join her group, please pop on over, check that out. I've popped all of those links in the description as well. If you like the video today, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. So once we finish this color along, we're going to start a new one in 2 weeks' time. So not next Friday, we'll just do a quick color along of some sort. It won't be a color along, sorry. I'll do a quick live video of a coloring of some sort. But the following week, we'll start a new color along with Fabrica Fantasy. So I've already got an image organized for that. We just need to vote on a medium, which we'll do in the group. So if you're not a member of my group, please pop on over. Make sure you answer those questions before you'll be accepted into the group, and you can join the next one and get the image for free. So this has been really great. I'm so glad I've managed to line up a few artists to do some freebies for us, so we can do these color alongs, which is really handy, and it means that everyone can join in while we're doing live. So if you got any questions before I start, we haven't got a lot to do today. We're only finishing off the basket and then the background. So we'll be fairly quick, I think. I say that, but you know, it always ends up taking me more than an hour. So we'll see how we go. So I've got my pencils, guys. If you haven't already converted them to your brand, if you're in the group, there is an image up on the page for the event with the color swatches from my Polychromos set. You can then match the colors that I'm using to your own brands. So I didn't actually list black, but we may need black for the background. But I'm going to be using Sienna Brown, or sorry, my bad, Burnt Siena 283, Cobalt Green 156. I've got Light Yellow Ochre 183. I've got Naples Yellow 185. And I've got Manganese Violet 160. I've also got my white. I may not use that, and I've got my black because of the background there, so we might not use that either, but I have got them just in case. So last week we finished off the berries and the tree, and I've seen heaps of people have posted theirs up, which is brilliant. Thank you. And I've opened up an album this morning in the Facebook group for everyone to add in their finished ones after today. So it'd be great if you can do that. Also, just touching on that, I have opened up an album for the geisha one that we did with Heather Valentine 4 weeks ago now. So if you finish that one, pop that in the album as well so we can all see your finished works. So I think I'm nearly ready to get started. Someone's just asked where the links, so they're all in the description under the video. So I'm pretty sure I've added everything in there, so you should be able to find it. If not, let me know and I'll see if I can find it for you. So I think we'll just go ahead and get started. So I'm going to finish the basket first and then move on to the background. So we're going to start with our Burnt Siena, which is 283. Can't read today. So what we're going to do is I'll zoom in for you and you can see what I'm doing. Find my zoom button. I'm going to have to turn it upside down or sideways, I think, so we can see it. You can see my fingerprint marks on the side there. All right, here's our basket. So with the Burnt Siena, I'm going to go into all of these really dark black areas, and I'm going to put some of this over, and I'm also going to go over lighter in these light grey, not the, sorry, we'll say mid-tone grey, because that's really dark grey or black there, and then we'll come back to the mid-tone colour there. So I'm just going to go over the top of the darker colours as well, and you can still see the colour if you go over that, so that's why I do it, because we don't just want to show that it's, we'll leave that black. We want to colour it over and try and colour over as much of that grey as we possibly can. It's not as cold today. The house is warm, so hopefully I won't break as many pencils today. Last week, every single pencil I used broke. So I'm going into all of the lines and crevices and covering over those. And lightly going over those darker or mid-tone shadow areas as well, just to fill in that colour. Dark shadow areas down here. All right. I've been extremely quiet the last 2 weeks. We've just had school holidays here, so they're all going back on Monday. So I should be able to get back into a normal routine, but it's been pretty hectic, and with everybody around, it's really hard to record anything without getting interruptions. As you can see, the cat's just bad enough, let alone all the kids as well. Okay. She's talking to the birds at the moment, so a bit of a natter. I'm just going over those mid-tone grey areas as well, just really lightly. So doing these darker colours first will help push back those parts of the basket, and then the lighter colours will help bring forward those other sections, which will make it look rounded and curved. Right. Just lightening it up around these areas. And going dark in those real dark black areas. So the basket goes over her shoulder and under her hair there as well, so we make sure we grab those parts as well. So all of the sections that are on the bottom here will be underneath and have shadows over the top of them, so that's why they're all nice and dark in there. So just notice down here, there's actually, it looks like it might even be a piece of clothing or something in there, which we could probably go over with a colour. I might just leave it for now. Just leave it black. Moving it back across to the other side. It's going nice and dark over those really black areas and just lightening it up as we come out further. Who's following along today? Oh, off the screen a bit. I've ordered new lights and camera mounts this week, so I'll hopefully get up everything all set up a bit better for next week. Kind of getting a bit sick of bumping the camera and it wobbling everywhere. I've got a few following. And for those that did message, I will see the messages. They've probably gone to the other folder. I have tried to collect those each day, but may have missed the last 2 days. So if you have already, I will see it. So I'll answer back later. That's the thing sometimes with Facebook, it decides who's other and who's not. All right, so I think I'm almost done here. I've covered over all of the really dark shadow areas now and the mid-tone ones as well. So some I've done dark over those black areas and then I've lightened it up over the other areas. All right, so we're going to go in now with the next lightest or darkest color, I should say. Or is it lightest? We're going up. We're going from dark to light. So the next color I'm going to use is the light yellow ochre, which is 183. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the top of what we've already done, and I'm just going to bring this out over those really light sections. I'm going to leave a little spot or section of light white there just so that I can go in with the very, very light color to finish it off. Flatten out the tooth and things like that. So a fair bit of the area is going to be covered with this because these darker areas have hardly any white in them anyway. But those very light basket sections there will be the very light color, which is almost the same as this one. It's just a little bit lighter. So just coming over the top. I'm going over the top of the previous color as well to make sure that all the tooth is flattened out in those dark areas as well. You don't want to miss any. those that didn't get the image, just make sure that you did message me through the group. Actually message the admin, Belinda. And for the next one, make sure you're in the event when it comes up too, so that you get access to that as well. Squeaky chair. Okay. You can already see it starting to look curved. So you can already see that it's looking kind of shiny, and it's looking like these sections here are sitting way more out than these back sections here that are woven under. Hi, Megan. Hope we'll be seeing you today. It's looking really good now. All right, so I'm going to go to the next color, which is Naples Yellow 185, and we're going to finish off the remainder of the basket. So I'm just going to go over everything and make sure that all the tooth's nice and flat. The reason we want to flatten off as much of the tooth as we can is so that the color looks more vibrant and it looks smoother. Depending on what paper you're using, you may not be able to flatten it completely, but giving it a go will help to bring out that color. Now this is going to lighten off some of those darker color areas as well. We can go back in with that sienna, burnt sienna, and just deepen those up at the end if we need to. Perfect. And just moving down to the rest of it. Got a wobbly camera again. That'd be great when that gets hooked up so it doesn't wobble like that. All right, I think we're done. I'll just zoom back out again so you can see the finished basket all together with the rest of it. If you want to go back into these darker areas, I've just got my sienna brown again. I'm just going to make sure those darker sections are nice and deep. And just to make them look like they're sitting right back, especially underneath those areas there. And I'm pretty happy with that. Looks pretty good. Now we're going to use that Naples Yellow, and I'm going to do all around the rest of the border with this one. So you only be able to see the really light parts on those really white sections, and the rest will just be colored like a browny color or a goldy brown. I'm just going to follow that around. I just wanted to put some of the basket color up and around the rest of the image, so I figured this was probably the best place to do that. All the way around. I saw a new image of Christine's. I think it was yesterday or the day before. She's brought out a little pirate. It's very cute. And those the fairy colouring books are beautiful as well, so make sure you check those out. All right. All the way around. So it took me a while to pick the next image. I was kind of really torn with what to do. For Breaker Fantasy, I've got two books now. They've got Fantasy Queens and Forest Spirits. And I couldn't decide, but I found an image that we'll be doing, which is pretty cool. And I should be able to do some metal for you in that one. There's lots of hair. Speaking of hair, if you didn't catch my last video with Julia Sperry's image, I did realistic hair in that one. So if you want to have a look at the full version of that, it's available on Patreon. If you don't know what Patreon is, check out the link in the description. It's like a subscription service. You pay a monthly subscription and you get access to exclusive content. All right, I'm done with that. Now I'm going to do the background, which isn't going to take us too long. We may need the black just to cover up some of the wider areas, but we may not, so I won't do that for now. But we'll start with the purple, I think. So Manganese Violet, 160. I'm going to try to do them, the little circles here, and I'm going to alternate between the purple and the green. So I want to make sure I try and get the color quite even. So I'm going to start down here. Just going to do light pressure to start with. Once I've marked them out, I'll come back in with firm pressure. That will be purple. That one. That little one there. One under the leaf there. And up here, there's sort of two really close together here. So I'll do one purple and one green. Moving around, we'll do purple here. People who are looking for this image right now, it's available on Christine Karron's Etsy store. The link is in the description below. So you can see that underneath the video. Also, it's in her new book, so you'll be able to see it in the new book as well. I'm pretty sure this one was anyway. Am I doing this right? Yep, purple. Just making sure I'm alternating there. And let's come down here. That would be green. I'm going to do this one purple here. And maybe this one. There's one down here in behind the berries, but I think I might do that green because it's a different color green to the leaves. Yeah, that'll do. So, I mean, it doesn't really matter, but I just wanted to try and alternate. So I've got the green now, which is Cobalt Green 156. And I'm going to go in and do these sections. So I'm just doing light to start with. Actually, I could probably go a little bit firmer now because I know where I'm going to put those green sections. So I'll just put pressure down and fill out those circles now. Back up to here. And let's move across to behind the berries again. Going in between the twigs, branches, and the berries. Kind of comes out and around it a little bit there, so just make sure you bring the color all the way out. I think we're going to need a little bit of black in there to separate those. And this one up here. Spot the spot. Up here. I'm just doing firmer pressure in the lighter areas and just sort of releasing it off as we go out towards these lighter areas. So it looks like it's fading out rather than just a large blob of color. Moving on to behind the branch here. Actually, that's a bit more color there. I wanted to bring the aqua in her eyes out into the background. It will help just create more interest to the eye and give it more uniform look, I guess. That's why we did the gold around the outside as well, just to make it all sort of balance out. Yeah, I might have to do a male one fairly soon. I've got a couple now I'd like to do. And there's a mystical type one with a hood on that I really like too. I've got that to have a go at. There's some beautiful images in the collection. I did that purple, so this one down here. Am I in the right spot? Or am I going off screen again? This one. Down here. Probably could have been purple down the bottom there. Oh well, we'll do it green. Mumbling to myself here. I swear I talk to myself when I'm doing videos that aren't live as well, actually. All right. I'm going to do this one green down the bottom here. It's fairly dark, so I'm just going to go straight in with firm pressure and just cover over all of that. I think there could possibly be two options for the darker sections. You could just go over it with black, which I probably will in a moment. But you could also use navy or something like that to go over those real dark sections. I think that would look good too. Okay. Now we'll go back in with the purple first, and I'll darken up those areas, just putting pressure down now, filling the rest of that out nicely. Different color purple to the hair, so it should still stand out from that section there. Nice and dark. Those two bubbles kind of overlap themselves a little bit. And this one. Just going over that a little bit as well, just to blend it in nicely. And over here. Being so close to the end makes me want to rush. Does everyone else get like that too? Just got to make sure you take your time so you don't wreck the finished image. Sometimes I just get frustrated with especially with pencil, with coloring, and just like, oh, this takes so long. Sometimes it's best just to walk away when I'm like that. Otherwise, it does look rushed. Just grab my brush. I've got a little bit of dust there from that one. Must be a bit colder than the other ones. Okay, finishing off on this side now. These two kind of mix up a little bit, so I'm just going to go over that green a little bit as well. Blend it in nicely there. And to this side. I'm just going to put my hand over it. So while we're just sort of finishing off this section, I just wanted to thank Christine for this beautiful image and for allowing us to do this color along. It's been great. Also, I've been in the group and there's been so much great stuff going on in there too. They're really inspiring. They have some little events going on as well, little challenges, which is great. And obviously in the group, you're going to get to see a lot of her images when she brings them out first. So that's good too. Just going around those leaves a little bit there just to cover up some of that darker there. So I'd like to put Christine in the lineup for another one in the future. So I'm sure that that will be the case. This one's been so great. I've got everything lined up for the rest of the year now, so it'll most likely be next year. But it won't stop me from doing any tutorials with her images though, so you may see some come out soon too. So hard to keep up with so many different artists nowadays. I love these colors together too. They're beautiful colors. I love these two, and I love pink and green as well together. But not this type of green, pink and lime green, I guess. Look great together too. All right. Now what I might do is just with the black, there's a couple of sections, especially at the top here, where it's kind of not completely covered. There's a little bit of white tooth there. I'm just going to go in with my black and just cover over those sections and just lightly go into a little bit of that color there as well, just to soften the edge off a bit. I can come a little bit close if you can't see the actual, well, that went close really quick, sorry. Let's have a look where I can see that. Just over here, you can see that there's still some white showing through. Yeah, my zoom was a little bit touchy then, sorry. So I'm just covering over the white and just doing some light pressure out over the top of that colored area just to cover over the rest of that white. I'm just using black now. There's a couple of areas actually. I just zoom back out again now. So there's a couple of areas now that I'm just going to go in and touch up. And I will scan the image up and we'll pop it up in the group, and I'll also put it in the album. So guys, if you could do the same, that'd be great with your finished ones. With events, the events are still technically open. So if you do post anything in the actual event wall, we'll still see that as well. So you're still doing your WIPs, or I should say work in progress, because some people don't even know what that means. If you're still doing your work in progress and you'd like to post that, then certainly do that in the event as well. Just in between these two, I think it needs to have a little bit of a light black through there, just to separate them a little bit. Just gradually working around, making sure that I'm using light pressure so that it does look like it's sort of fading out or fading in or whatever. So I've got a few Patreon projects on the go, and I'm starting a Jasmine Beckett marker one probably today, and I will get the recording of all my other ones done over the next few days so we can get some more tutorials up, because we haven't done many this week. All right, almost done touching up. So if you've got any questions, pop them up now and I can look at answering those for the last few minutes of the video. We've still got plenty of time. So by now you should be starting to get rid of some of the scratchiness of the black in the background. And it should be a little bit more solid. So Grace, I've done a dark skin tutorial on Patreon. So I do have a really in-depth video on Patreon already for dark skin colors. Almost done here. I think I did the dark skin colors in Prismacolor, Polychromos, and Caran D'Ache pencils. So I've only really got 2 tiers in Patreon now. I've got one tier which is only for a basic, just for color conversion charts. I've only been doing color conversion charts from marker to pencil, but some people who have seen some of my older videos wanted conversion, so I've done that for the first tier, which is $1.50. And then the $5 tier I do for everyone else. So the $5 tier covers all of the extended videos, color lists, color charts, everything. And usually I like to try and get a couple of tutorials done a week on there, or more, depending on how excited I am about coloring that week. But all of those videos tend to be more like this, like the color alongs are, and they're not the speed colorings that I usually put on YouTube. They are a lot more in depth. And also there's some raw footage, so videos that don't actually make it to any cut. I'll quite often put up the raw video footage for that anyway, just so people can still learn and see what process I followed. It's just usually there's no voice, no voiceovers on them. Just back over here a little bit. I think I'm quite happy with how the depth of that has come out. Just a couple more spots in there. I did have a higher tier as well, but I didn't feel that I could put enough work into doing that little bit extra, and I didn't want people to feel like, you know, they were getting as similar to the other. You can obviously pledge more than the specified $5, which I have quite a few that do that, and thank you so much, guys, because you're my heroes. So we've got a few of my patrons in here today, actually. Guys. Patrons. I don't know. What do you call it? Subscriptions? Subscribers? Yeah. All right. The black did make a difference. It did cover up all of that white sort of patchy sections that were there, and it's created that, makes it look sort of a little bit more vibrant, I guess, and also it looks like it's shrinking back into that background a little bit better than it was before. So yeah, definitely worth putting that black on just to neaten that up. And I'll have to pop a review on Etsy with a picture of this one for Christine as well. I like to try and do that on the artist page where I've purchased from. Just going to put a little bit more at the top here. I think I've missed this section here. All right. I think I'm happy with that now. Stand back and have a look at it. Make sure I didn't miss anywhere. Just in there, it seems a little bit light. It's good sitting back because I'm so blind. Just wearing my glasses more and more. All right. I think that's pretty good. I'm quite happy with that. There's a couple of sections in that green that I'm just going to go back over with. So now it's just tonal adjustments, your own personal preference, how dark or light you want things. If you feel you need to go darker in sections, go ahead and do that. Make it your own. So I've got a couple of videos coming out on Patreon this coming week. I've got mermaid skin and hair. I've got a video on paper and types of paper and how they work and what the differences between some of the papers that I've got are. I've got the Harmony image by Julia Sperry with rainbow hair and some water. I think that's much better. So guys, that's all done. Let's have a look. Yep, I'm doing mermaids. So I've got, I'm using, for mermaids, there's some different colors through there. So we'll be using a little bit of this cobalt green and some purples and things like that through the skin, which sort of changes the way that it looks. It's quite exciting. I really enjoyed doing that one. And using Polychromos pencils as well, actually, that one. So that's coming up soon. I've got, hi guys, thanks for joining. If you've just come in, we're nearly finished now, but that's okay. You're welcome to go back and watch the actual color along part later on. But yeah, we've got lots coming along. Pretty excited. I did get a couple of different types of new paper that I've tried out, and some I wasn't very impressed with, so I'll be popping that up soon too. And yeah, I think that's pretty much everything that's been going on that side. I'm looking forward to doing some new Copic marker ones because I haven't done Copics for a while. I've did a little image by Heather Valentine this week, the Mystical Rory, I think she's called. And I'll be popping that up on Patreon as well as a tutorial. So yeah, but I think I need to get some speed colorings done. I've got a couple of books that I need to do flip throughs of as well, which I'll try and get to. Just takes so much time, but yeah, we'll try and get to those as well. Any other questions before we finish off today? I'm really happy with that. Make sure you thank Christine for the image again, and pop over and check out our store. I think that's everything I needed to say. I have opened an album for these images and the previous geisha ones that we did as well. So make sure you, if you're in the group, make sure you pop in and drop your picture off there. Someone said they got So lens, somebody just asked about lens. Lens is just a sneak peek of a video or a picture of something that's coming up. So the lens notification that you got was for the little mermaid lady that I did yesterday. So it's just a sneak peek at the image so you can see what's coming up. So that's what I do, pop on lens. I did try to do a little video, but they don't come out very good on there. So I think it's just something new, and I'm sure I'll get the hang of it as well. Also, someone just said about Bristol vellum. I brought some Bristol, Strathmore Bristol Smooth, I think it is. But I really don't like it. So once I get that video up, you'll be able to see that. It just couldn't get it to go right. I'm actually really loving this Nina Classic Crest paper for polys. They come out absolutely beautiful. So I really like that. It's nice to be able to use paper that you can use for everything. But yeah. Thank you. I can't wait for the next one either. So the next one is a Fabrica Fantasy image from the Forest Spirits book. I think it's called Elves in Love. So we'll be doing that, but we won't be starting that for 2 weeks. So what I'll do is this week I'll pop up a poll for everyone to pick what medium they want to use this time around, and we'll give it a week's break for everyone to catch up on this image, and then we'll start the next one. So next week I'll do probably a quick Opaque demonstration. So I might do I think it's time I do a Jade Summer one. They're nice little images and they're really quick to do. So I might do one of those for next week's live video. So if you want to catch that, come along next week, same time. And I think that's everything. Someone just said they're going to ask for polys for Christmas. Well worth it. I love my polys. I did just get the Caran D'Ache Pablos, and I absolutely love them as well. So 2 new pencils that I'm quite keen on doing more with. So the Fabrica Fantasy ones are line image, but there's a tiny bit of grayscale in it as well. So we'll be doing a normal line image for that one. I'm just checking back on all the comments now, so give me a sec. Lens, thank you. I'm a rock star. Thank you. Thanks, Kathy. Polly's. And no worries, you're late, but we're finishing off now, so you'll have to rewatch. I think I got everything. The Fabrica Fantasy one won't be available until the week that I set up the event. So probably not this week, but maybe next week, the start of next week, I'll put that event up. I don't want to start it too soon because then people will get confused of when the live video and things like that will be. So we'll wait. I'll pop that up in a week's time. A week from now, I'll put that up. So for the next live video, so in a week's time, I'll make sure that I've got it all organized for the following week. So you'll be able to see that there. So I'm usually live this time, but an hour before this time. So we've already been up live for an hour now, or almost an hour. So I usually do try to do the same time each Friday. Some Fridays I'll have to change till Thursdays. It depends on what's going on as well. So usually I try to do the same time every week. I think for us in Australia, it's, well, for me in Victoria, I should say, because some of other parts of Australia are different timed as well. But here it's 9:30 a.m. and that's Australian Eastern Standard Time. So if the image is only available for the previous video, so this is now already past after this, the image is no longer available, but you can purchase it in the Etsy shop. So in the description there, there's a little thing there that says that it's only available for those 4 weeks. So because the image is not mine and Christine Karron has given us that's just the way that we do that. So just check out her Etsy shop. It is on there. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for watching, everybody, and I hope you've enjoyed this one. And I think that's everything. I will see you all next time. Thanks again so much for watching. Make sure you like the video and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you did send me a message earlier through the group, I will check those out now and catch up on everybody as well. So I will talk to you all very, very soon and see you in the next video.